Hey everyone, welcome back to another memory plan with me. This week I'm memory planning May 25th to the 31st, and I'm using this kit from GLAM Planner. GLAM Planner. At the moment, my throat is killing me, so I'm trying to do this quickly and painlessly as possible. I have very bad allergies, so they're just attacking my throat right now. Anyway, you see me kind of mess up the top by putting down the glitter headers above the top line instead of the date covers. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to be smart, and it ended up not being smart, and then I had a lot of space at the bottom once again, but it's fine. I am not sure what this kit is called, but it is Egypt themed, which was perfect for the book club meeting that I had this week, which was based on a book called The Daughter of Egypt. I really enjoyed the book. It's like a historical fiction, I think is what it's labeled as. I could be wrong, but yeah, I don't know anything about Egypt history, so I wasn't really thinking I was going to be into it, but it ended up being like one of the favorite things that I've read this year so far. And even more surprisingly, it is something that I read physically and not listened to on Audible. So, I mean, that just goes to show how much I really enjoyed the book. There's no way that I could do a synopsis on it though or anything because I don't know how to pronounce any of the names. Plus, it gets to be a little confusing. But what I will say is that you get to read about two different point of views from two very important women and just how they navigated through the world through being a woman in a world run by males, which is still kind of a thing today. We're trying to always overcome that, but yeah. I was going to say the only other thing. There was a couple of things that happened this week. This week was really, really hot. I think our area kind of broke records or something because I think at one point, I don't know which day it was, but we were hotter than Arizona State, which was like, I don't know why that was a thing, but apparently we broke records and it was really painfully hot. Like I can't stand being really hot. And it was like, I think I got to like 38 Celsius or something like that, something crazy like that. Like something super crazy where people were having heat strokes and stuff because it was just very dangerously hot. The other thing that happened was that we took some of our students to another school to go have a performance competition thing for it's called like a language festival. So our students speak Cree and English, and so they were doing songs and dances in Cree. And every single class that we took won something, so that was pretty amazing. And then they did the performance again for their parents the next day at our school. And the only other thing that happened this week was that my dad's vehicle was in the shop, and then he got himself kind of stuck in our city, so I had to drive him all the way back to a reserve. But it ended up being nice because then we had a nice little visit with him while he was here. Getting into the day by day, the first thing on Monday I'm marking is that I read, and I'm using this Once More with Love sticker. And then to mark work this week, I usually use flags, but I just used the work labels that came with the kit to mark work for every day this week. And using this munchkin from Once More, sorry, I'm like really struggling to make make it so it's not blurry, and I was just having a struggle with it. And then like the right side of my planner you can see is like dark, and I don't know what was happening. I don't know if it was the lighting outside or what, but anyway, to mark that it was really hot that day, I'm using this munchkin from Once More with Love. And then I was watching The Last Thing He Told Me, so I'm using a TV from the Prairie Planner. And then I got some Happy Mail, and I believe this box sticker is from the sticker party, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't even remember what I got this day. I think it was stickers, but I'm not sure. And then I went for a walk after it cooled down a little bit, so I'm just using the shoe that came with the kit, the shoe icon. And then I went to bed early this day, so I'm just using the bed that came with the kit. Moving on to Tuesday, first thing I'm marking again is that I read in the morning, and I'm using this book sticker that came from I'm pretty sure it came from a Michaels sticker book. And then I'm marking work the same way with another work label. And then to mark that it was hot, again, I'm using another Munchkin sticker from Once More with Love. This one is of the Munchkin, like, melting into the ground from being so hot, like, it was just ridiculously hot. And then after work, since it was so hot, me and my husband went to get ice cream, and I'm not really sure where that ice cream sticker is from. And then to mark that I continued watching The Last Thing He Told Me, I'm using this tiny little, TV sticker from Once More with Love. And then I went for another walk this evening. Once it cooled down again, I'm using a shoe sticker from the Prairie Planner. And then just had a YouTube binge, so I'm using the YouTube play button that came with the kit. Moving on to Wednesday, first thing I'm marking again is that I read, and I'm using another Munchkin from Once More with Love. And then work with another work label. And then this was the day that we went to the language festival, so we left. I think we boarded the buses like at 9:30 or something, and then we got back at like 2:30. So we were gone for the majority of the day. And it was just a lot of fun. Like, I just like out of school experiences. They're always adventurous, no matter how old you are, I think. And it was very brave of the students to get up there and to do their little dances and songs and stuff. Like, it takes a lot of like courage to do that. And I always tell them that because when I was their age, there was no way I would ever do something like that. The school that we took them to was on a reserve, so there was lots of ticks and mosquitoes, which was kind of like annoying, but the school itself was very beautiful, and the staff, I have some friends that actually work there, so it was kind of cool seeing them too. Since it was so hot, we did take the kids for ice cream, and I don't remember where that ice cream sticker is from. And then I went for another walk in the evening using another Prairie Planner shoe to mark that. I'm actually pretty surprised I went for so many walks this week. Like, I do so good with working out or going for walks and stuff, and then I just, like, fall off the wagon and then I get back into it. It's like a cycle. And I played Apex. I'm using this little controller from the Prairie Planner, and then I'm finishing the night with a really cold bath because, like I said, it was hot. So that Fox and Cactus Girl, face mask sticker just represented my bath. Moving on to Thursday, first thing I'm marking again is that I read, and that book sticker is from the Prairie Planner. Using another work label to mark work, and then using another Munchkin sticker to mark really hot weather. And then this evening we had the Cree concert at our school, so I'm using this girl from, I think it's from Very Cute Designs, and I forgot to mention that from Wednesday. And yeah, because I didn't really know what else to use to mark it, but this kind of just works. So that's what I used. And then this evening was my book club meeting. It was actually a very busy day. I was so tired. And because I was so tired, I went to go grab a pop from, I think, McDonald's. I went somewhere to get like a really ice cold Coca-Cola. So this sticker is from Once More with Love, I believe, holding the Coca-Cola can. Moving on to Friday, first thing I'm marking is that I read, and I'm using this book stack sticker from Alley Cat Shop. And then marking work the same way with another work label. And then this day we took the students to the community powwow in our city. So I'm using this paw sticker from the Prairie Planner. I was very surprised that they still had the powwow because it was so insanely hot this day as well. So I actually was subbing in a classroom, well, my old classroom. So I brought my students back early because I was like, no, it's too hot. I was getting a headache. And if I was feeling a headache, who knows how my students were feeling. So I brought them back early, and I actually took them to the splash park that's like a 2-minute walk from our school. Because, like I said, it was just so hot and it just felt very dangerous. So I took them to the splash park, just told them to go in with their clothes, and I'm like, "You guys will dry off anyway, it's fine." And yeah, so after that, my dad picked me up because he was using my vehicle. His vehicle is in the shop, and using a heart sticker to mark that. The splash sticks, the sticker I used for the splash park, I believe, is from Once More with Love. And then to mark that we went for Chinese food that evening, I'm using a Once More with Love noodle cup sticker. And just to mark that the Montreal Canadiens got out this day, not that I really cared. I don't really care about that team, sorry to say, but they got out that day, so I'm just using that Munchkin face to mark that. It's just that I was kind of mad, like, "Okay, now we're not gonna watch hockey anymore." But as I speak right now, my husband's actually watching hockey at the moment, so doesn't matter. Moving on to Saturday, first thing I'm marking is that I was up early, so I'm using that clock sticker from the kit. Went for Tim Hortons using the coffee cup sticker from the kit, and then I drove my dad to the reserve, so I'm using the car sticker from the kit. And then we ended up having a very quick barbecue at my parents' place, so I'm using the munchkin from Once More With Love. And then I did a big online order. I do this sometimes where I just, like, purge online or splurge, not purge. Splurge, my gosh. I splurge online and just spend a lot of money. It's bad. I am very bad with my money sometimes, and I'll be the first to admit it, so and then I went to Dairy Queen and tried their new milkshake, like the Fruity Pebbles milkshake or whatever. It tastes really good. If you like cereal, you'll like it. And then I played Apex with my cousin that day, so I'm using the controller from the Prairie Planner, and then I just watched YouTube, so I'm using that Munchkin from Once More With Love. And finally, moving on to Sunday, first thing I'm marking is that I slept in, so I'm using that sticker from Every Minute a Story. Then I did some planning, so I'm using the planner that came with the kit, and then I tidied my office a little bit, and when I say a little bit, I mean I barely did anything, but I will just mark it because I wanna feel a little bit of accomplishment, so I'm using that little trash can icon from the kit. Then we went to get groceries, so the groceries sticker is from the kit. I played Apex when I got back, so I'm using the girl from Papershire. And then finally, with this YouTube play button that I can't remember where it's from, me and my husband just watched some quizzes that evening, and yeah, that was the week. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.